Holy cow. We're having all kinds of issues already, everybody.
I was wondering, I just have a white screen.
It wouldn't stop. Good Lord.
Good Lord.
Good Lord.
Never fails every week.
It's already started. There's always something. I'm not a pro. I'm not going to ever claim that I'm a podcasting pro.
We are amateurs through and through.
I don't even think that isn't even the right description. It's like, what's worse than a rookie? I don't even know if there's a word for that.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
You should just quit.
I suck. I'm like Happy Gilmore. We're like Happy Gilmore when he plays hockey.
Yeah. Better luck next year.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. That's pretty funny. Welcome to the show, everybody. Sorry we were unable to get the show in last week. There was a little bit of just miscommunication between Jake and I, for one, and he was hard at work trying to get the car ready to go for this last weekend. So apologies for not doing the show last week, but we have a lot to cover from this last weekend because there was 3 days of racing instead of the normal 1 day Saturday night show. So, but before we do that, we'll introduce ourselves. And I'm Jordan, the driver of 13 GAM. And yeah, I'll pass over to Jake, and then we'll get right into this. We got a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do. All right, what's up, everybody? Jake Smith, driver of the 89 GAM, fellow host of this here podcast. Yeah, welcome to the show. I will have to say I'm wearing my Owasso Speedway shirt today. Before we get into all the weekend recaps, this last weekend, Owasso Speedway had to cancel their show due to weather, and I saw that on Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, that kind of sucks." And after our second main event, we're sitting in tech, and here comes Rex Wheeler walking up pit road, up by the tech area, right where they had the Cars Tour officials trailer. What are you doing here? And so, lo and behold, since he had to cancel the show at like noon or 1 o'clock in Michigan, him and a buddy were like, "Hey, let's go fly somewhere and watch a race." And they're like, "Where do you want to go?" And, "Oh, the Cars Tour is at Colorado National, and I know a couple mod drivers there." So him and a friend literally jumped on a plane, flew out to Colorado, and or flew to Denver, and jumped in a rental car and got to the track at 6 o'clock before the show started. So that was pretty cool. And he came up and said hi. So yeah, so I was like, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna show my support for Owasso today."
That is pretty funny. I know you guys called me after that and were like, "You'll never guess who we ran into at the racetrack." I'm like,
yeah.
I could name a million people at this point, you know, which is kind of funny because last week I ran into a celebrity. I don't know if he's a celebrity, but he's a pretty funny comedian.
He's a Facebook celebrity.
Yeah, Facebook or social media celebrity. Yeah. John Christ was. So if you haven't seen John Christ, I'm sure you probably have at some point, but go on social media and type in his name, John Christ. He was over at Highland Rim last weekend, and I just saw him and I was like, "Holy crap, I think that's him." And sure shit, walked up to him, was like, "Are you?" And he goes, "Yeah, how you doing?" And I mean, not total fanboy, but I was just like, "Oh, that was interesting." I never in a million years would have thought he'd have been at a racetrack, but here we are.
Was he wearing a racing shirt?
Oh yeah.
Was he? Oh, I was gonna say if he wasn't, it'd be like, "You're not wearing a racing shirt. Cancel."
You cancel. I don't know why I didn't think about that in the moment. That would have been fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, canceled. Yeah, that's like his catchphrase. That's so funny. Anyways, all right, we're gonna kick this shindig off. Jake, you want to give a shout out because there was a lot of new winners from the previous week, and we don't want to bypass that or not recognize that at this point because there was some really good highlights from the weekend before this, and then we just want to give a little bit of a shout out real quick to those drivers that got their first win that weekend, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, we apologize for not doing the show last week, give them their time. So definitely want to do that this week. I'll just quickly go over the feature winners from the previous week. Tessa Marine getting her first win. Congratulations, girl. I know you and your family and your dad especially have been working hard and you've been doing better on the racetrack and you can see the strides you've been taking. So Tessa Marine, good job. Won the first late model feature. Um, and we won't go over stuff that happened. We can maybe at the end of the show kind of talk about some incidents that happened. Uh, but we'll just go over the winners right now. But the first super late model feature, Mr. Cody Dempster got that win. So congrats to you, sir. Brent Cave in the super stock, first feature win, or the first feature of the night for the super stocks, got the win. And then Javon Bernard, man, he came out of nowhere in that race and all of a sudden just drove right by the 3 and right by the 15, got the 20, and it was like, damn, he was railing that car. So congratulations, kid. Again, you're one of those kids that been working your ass off to get up there and get a good win or get a good finish and a win. So congratulations, Mr. Javon Bernard.
I do have to speak to that one in particular real quick because I know there's been a lot of, drama more or less within that division this season in particular.
Yeah.
But I would say 95% of the drivers after that race all drove by him and gave him a congratulations. It was like, Dale Earnhardt at Daytona, right? Like every driver from every team came out and congratulated him. So that was awesome. And then Isaac Martinez, like getting out of the car and
he was going to spear him off the car.
he was more pumped up than Javon was, I think. I mean, he was jacked up on Mountain Dew. It was awesome.
Right.
So that was a huge highlight, I think, of the night, was just that moment right there that they all congratulated that kid. I thought it was great.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna say that too, but yeah, congrats, Mr. Javon Bernard. And what a way to make it special for everybody else in the field to do that for him. So I'm sure he was all smiles and having a good time. I know he's not old enough, but if you were old enough, I hope you enjoyed a couple of beers if you were 21, but I know you're not 21 yet. So hopefully you had a couple of root beers, maybe.
Yeah, indulged with the Air Cofina. Yeah.
Yeah, the Aquafina.
Yeah.
All right, into the second late model feature, Mr. Brandon Newey, another one that been working hard and he's been getting up there in that third lane, Mr. Michael Scott lane, and been trying to make that thing work, and finally got it to work and got up there and got himself a win. So congratulations to you, Brandon Newey, and then Tessa for finishing night one, for feature win, and then finishing second in that race. So hell of a job there. And then the super stock second feature, Mr. Sean Sully getting the win. First one, I do believe, on the year. I don't know if that's like his first ever win, but at least on the year, his first win. So congratulations, sir. Top two for the 12S and the 12C. So the two 12s coming home 1-2. So pretty cool there. And the final super late model feature of the night, Cody Vanderwall. But what a finish to that race. Kyle Ray and Cody Vanderwall going side by side for what, 10 laps? Didn't touch each other. I mean, there was probably maybe a touch or two here and there, but they weren't beating on each other. They were side by side, giving each other the respect. And I mean, what a hell of a race that they put on in a show at the end of that race. Well, that was awesome to watch.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that was it. I don't think if they did they? I think they did demo. Did they do Demo X or anything after that? I don't think they did.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
If they did, then they didn't post those results. But congratulations to all the feature winners of the night. What a good night it was for all those people. So, yeah, move on to the big weekend. And when I mean big weekend,
Yeah,
long weekend.
that's why we kind of entitled this particular show "Holy Shit." Insert caption here, because it was like holy shit hot, holy shit, what a night. Like, holy shit, what a race. Like, it was just like the theme of the night, it seemed like, or the weekend, I should say. The heat was definitely the biggest one too.
Oh God.
Not, uh, I did not envy you guys. It was hot here. Don't get me wrong. Like I think my whole body was shooting sweat out of it at one point. But I know what the difference of what it's truly like to be in that like dry, consistent, dead heat that it is there.
Yeah.
Oh, woof,
And
woof.
I think well, I mean, I wasn't up there Friday, but I was definitely working outside on Friday. But I think out of all 3 days, Sunday was the worst because it was like 104. I want to say 105 at like ambient
Holy
temperature,
cow,
let alone whatever the heat index was coming off the track.
dude, that is brutal.
Hmm.
That's brutal. That is
Yeah.
brutal. I feel for everybody back at home. That is
Yeah.
that is crazy. I know. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was gonna say, it's funny, Melody put this up. Both phones kept overheating. Uh, Corey Dent, even she came up with a bag of ice, and I thought, she was uh to film, I think the feature for Wyatt, and she had a bag of ice, and I thought she was gonna put that like on her neck or something. No, she wrapped it around her phone to keep her phone cool because while she was filming the 15 lap um fast dash, she said it overheated and even like had a little drop down thing that was like phone overheating about to shut off. So like she had to like try to like cover it somehow to try and like shade it at least a little bit because it was overheating so bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. I mean, I've had that where you like accidentally leave it in your car, but if you're standing out in the open and it does that,
Yeah. You're
whoa,
just standing there
that's
filming and it was overheating.
that's freaking hot. But all right, I mean, we're gonna because there's so much content to kind of get through for this particular show. We're gonna kind of run through it as quickly as we can and make some highlights from, try and get as much as we can in uh, for each one of the different events because there was certain divisions that ran all 3 nights, the INEX series, because it was the INEX like summer shootout, I think is what they entitled it. So you had the
Mhm.
Bandos and the Legends cars all 3 nights, or all and day, I should say, 2 nights and a day. But then you had the Cars Tour coming through. You had super stocks, pure stocks, GAMs, you name it, right? Like dang near every division seemed like race this past weekend. But the first night, it was Friday night. You had Bandos, the Legends, the pure stocks, and that was it, right? Yeah, it was
They're just pure stock.
Bandos, pure
Yeah,
stocks, and Legends,
Legends,
and that
yeah.
was it. Yeah.
They are the pure
Uh,
stock in a double feature.
yes, I will say this, and this is just something I just have to point out. So between just the bandoleros, okay, there was 11 outlaws and 15 or 16 bandits. So that is 27 bandoleros now racing at CNS. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Couple of new kids. I point out Tanner Eggleston made a debut coming from the quarter midgets and running up with the bandoleros for the first time. Um, Pretty cool to see. He had a bunch of his little friends come up and watched him, and they were cheering him on and everything like that. So that was pretty cool to see. But they they did a pretty good job overall, like for the entire weekend. Um, it, it's a little bit of mayhem overall with some of those kids because there's just they're just all over the place. Like you got slow cars, fast cars, and they're trying to navigate traffic, and they're running in, bouncing off of each other, and kids are spinning out in different corners, and it's just a crazy show to watch, but nothing major. I mean, there was a couple of incidents, I know within the outlaw division, but that particular night, nothing really crazy, and proud to say that they did a good job.
Mhm.
So for the Bando feature, Declan Shaw ended up winning that one, and then for the Outlaws, little Jackson Mueller, Action Jackson. he took the feature for the Outlaws that Friday night. So started off really, really well, and then we got into the Legends for the night. And there was a total, oh God, how many were there? I think there was 30.
I thought
Trying to
first
make
night,
this.
I thought there was over 40.
I think that there might have been over. I think you're right. I think there was about 40 of them. Maybe there's like 38, 39 somewhere right in there, but a
Yeah.
ton. And they split them up. They had, like a, I don't know, like a B feature, so to speak. And I think they had like 8 cars the first night, like Friday night. I think they had like 8 or 9. Let me go back and actually look. There was 10.
Yeah.
There was 10 of them that were supposed to start. 7 of them actually started the race. But then, yeah, they carried over 26 to the A feature of the night. And I know there was, you could drive your way in, so to speak, too, because they had like the heat race type thing. It was right. So I do love the way that kind of played out. That you could race your way in versus like how the normal Saturday night goes, where they just split it up completely. So it just made a little bit more, it just made for a little bit more something to shoot for as far as like you had a bad night, you were off on setup, whatever the case may be. At least gave you a chance to try and race your way in to the feature show, because there was some, if you notice, there were some pretty big names on that list that showed up for the Legends cars, Brexton Busch being one of them. So I was really anxious to see how the local guys and kids and girls could compete against some of the top names in the Legends division across the country. That Colton Hale kid, I knew he was from the West Coast, and now he lives out in like North Carolina. Like I said, Brexton Busch, and a couple of other ones that were super fast. So it was going to be an exciting night. But Brian Harlow, man, good to see him. I know he had that nasty wreck in, what was it, practice? It was like it was preseason.
Earlier in the year,
had that
right?
nasty. Yeah, it was prior to the season even starting. He had that nasty wreck in his car, and I think he missed a couple of races due to it too. But good to see him get a win. Win's a win. Doesn't matter. I know A-Rod said something about it. I think it was Saturday night that he's like, doesn't matter if there's 20 cars, 10 cars, 5 cars, a win's a win, right? So, yeah. But congratulations to him. And did you watch any of the features from Friday night?
I didn't see the first pure stock race, but I did see the ending of that first Legends race, and then the pure stock second feature, and then because I think they ran the second Legends feature last, if I do remember right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that one. But yeah, and one Bando race. I did see Jackson win, but I just missed the one pure stock race and the B main of the
Okay. So we'll kind of go through, since we'll kind of go through in that now in order, like talking about the pure stocks a little bit, and then we'll talk about the big event for the night was the A main for the Legends cars.
Yeah.
The first the first pure stock race was it was pretty exciting. I mean, just mayhem from the get go, right? 4-car wide. It was like a multi-car incident, and you're just like, holy cow, this is going to be crazy, right? Right from the get go, it just happened, and then they had a huge cleanup. And if I remember correctly, I think it was, forget who exactly got loose coming off the corner. I think it was, I forget the name.
Feature or the second feature?
The first one.
Oh, okay.
The first one. They got, because there was 2 wrecks. They had a red flag, both of them.
Wow.
It was unfortunate. It was both races had like huge stalls to them. But anyways, got that all cleaned up. They started racing again, and man, Derek Spalding riding off that high from the last race they were in, he just kept the momentum going, got up to the lead, and Tanner McKim, I mean, he's kind of been the top dog in that division this year. He's been super fast, has 5 wins on the season, going for number 6. Got caught in traffic a little bit, and Derek Spalding kind of took off for a little while, and then just kind of ran out of laps, more or less than anything else. So huge congratulations to Derek Spalding again. Got the win. As far as I know, there was no discrepancies this week, so congratulations. I was able to, you know what I mean?
Right.
That would have really sucked. Somebody would have protested him again, and yeah. But I don't know what they teched this week. I have no idea. I wasn't obviously there, so I have no idea what the process was or what they looked at after that particular race or for the weekend. But yeah, congratulations to Derek Spalding, man. I mean, 2 for 2, kick off the last race and then win the first feature of this one. So that's awesome.
Yeah, but then there comes the second feature.
Yeah, then the second feature.
Yeah. Lap 1, turn 2. I don't know what happened to the 89. That's Bernard's brother, isn't it? What is
I'm totally drawing a blank. No, it's Justin Bernard.
Yeah, Justin Bernard. That's it.
Justin. Yeah.
I don't know if he got loose coming off of 2, got hit or what, but it's just like he lost momentum. And then everybody just started trying to go around him and got taken 3 wide. And all of a sudden it was just like everybody was starting to just beating. I mean, it was just bouncing off each other, right? And then all of a sudden just everybody else coming off of 2, trying to head full steam ahead and just started one of the bigger wrecks I've seen in terms of CNS. It was like the big one at Daytona. It seemed like going down the back straightaway, and just a lot of people were caught in that situation and had nowhere to go. There was a lot of a lot of good cars that got around it, but there was a lot of good cars that got in it too.
Yeah,
I don't have the list of people that got in the incident, but I know there was at least 6 or 7 that got into it, and I think 2 or 3 might have got back out on the track, but there was a lot of torn up race cars, and they had to go red again and clean up a bunch of stuff. But kudos to the track crew and Cars Tour helping them out. It seemed like they got it cleaned up pretty quick for how many cars were out there that needed a tow, and then all of the speedy dry they needed to put down. They actually got it cleaned up pretty quick. So kudos to the track staff for that.
I gotta laugh at the announcers on low budget though.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
They're not my favorite. Let's put it that way. Let's put it that way. They're not my favorite. One of the guys, you can tell he's just, I don't know if he's just getting the broadcasting or what, but he has no mechanical understanding like whatsoever. What was he talking about? Radiator oil? Did he say that at one point?
One of the cars that they were cleaning up, and they noticed there was, some sort of liquid underneath like the radiator area. They're like, "Oh yeah, there's probably lots of radiator oil on the ground and probably some transmission coolant." I'm like, transmission coolant, radiator oil. I didn't know they had, what is it, 0W10 or is it 0W15W50 or what are they running in the radiators, man, to keep them cool?
It's so funny. I mean,
I wanted to comment on the broadcast at the same time, but I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, you could tell they were just trying to, keep the conversation going. But at that point, just be like, oh, that's unfortunate. He's got some sort of substance leaking out from under the car. Like keep it general and vague.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Fluid cleanup that needs to happen here.
Yes. Oh gosh, I was sitting here watching that, just dying laughing. Like, oh, this poor guy. But
Uh,
anyways,
ref
uh,
what is that? The refrigerant 154 or something like that? I can't
yeah.
remember.
Oh, I had to give the guy a little bit of grief.
Right,
I couldn't help myself. But
right.
I mean, yeah, after they got that all cleaned up, it was a pretty good race overall. Uh, man, I mean, just they put on a really good show. There was a lot of side by side action. Yeah, it's unfortunate there were some pretty good cars that got caught up in that,
Yeah, there
but but
it was some good racing until
both
what was that? Just before it was turn 3 and 4, 2 to go. I think they were coming to the white flag. No, they were coming to 2
yes,
to go, and Tanner McKim was
there
catching
was
lap
two or
traffic.
three.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was coming to some heavy lap traffic, and, um, was it Peyton Opperman, right? Is in the
in
23?
the 23.
Yeah.
Yes.
I I I don't blame Tanner in a sense for spinning him out just because Peyton he was catching Peyton down the back straightaway, and Peyton was pretty entered the corner at least high. And it just seemed like Peyton just came right down across Tanner's nose just before Tanner was there, and just Tanner probably couldn't get it slowed up enough or what, but it was like just that momentum just got him and spun him out right there. And then poor was that Maddie Lang? I think it was. Um,
Hmm.
she ended up just right front, right into the nose of Peyton Opperman and just tore the
Yeah.
crap out of that right front. And she tried to get off the track and then ended up getting stuck in the middle of 1 and 2, kinda, like, just above that high line, and the thing for me about that one is they didn't throw a yellow flag. Like, they went around another lap, took the white flag, and the leaders are going into 1 and 2 and with lap traffic, and there's poor Maddie Lang just stuck there. And, I mean, there was probably about 8 at least 8 cars having to try and go around her to avoid wrecking her. And then, Tanner and who was it? Giovanni Mecca had to go low, and a bunch of lap cars went low, and then Derek Spalding just took advantage, because there was a parting of the sea and just took off. But by that time, when he went into 3 and 4, they finally threw the yellow flag. So, like, for me, it was like it took you almost 2 laps to throw a yellow, but then at that point, it's like, "Well, how are you gonna score this now?" Because, I mean, like, literally, Derek Spalding was, like, right at the flag stand before they threw the
Hmm.
checker flag, and it was like, "Okay, how are we gonna score this one now?" But, obviously, with 1 to go, they went back to the lap before, and that's where they ended up, doing the, scoring, which I'm glad that they didn't try to do that last lap, like, do a green, white, checkered or something, because that would've just been stupid.
Yeah.
So, I do applaud the track for
Yeah.
just, "Whoop, we're calling it here, we gotta get this car off the track," because also with that rain delay, it was like, "We need to get the show over." So, Tanner McKim
Well,
was the
I
number
mean,
656 on the year?
six, six
Yeah.
for him.
What were you gonna
I
say?
mean, this is. I mean, it's just kind of crazy to me that this is like a reoccurring theme. It seems like for the last several weeks in a row, like talking about why aren't we throwing cautions when cars are stuck almost on the racetrack, really close to the racetrack, on the racetrack? Like,
Mhm.
why is that a huge issue? I know there was a certain driver, I won't name names, that brought it up in a pit meeting a couple weeks ago and was met with a little bit of hostility about that particular question. But
Mhm.
I think it's legit. As drivers, we're the ones out there. We're the ones risking our lives. Why does that even become a question?
Right.
And if you particularly, this particular person that is addressing this, if you think that it's an issue of where people are just playing games, then by all means, send them to the rear of the field.
Give him a
Get their
2-lap
spot back
penalty.
or black flag them.
Yeah.
Yeah, give them a 2 lap penalty, black flag them, be like, you know what, you played the game and you brought out the caution on purpose. Get off my racetrack. Okay. And if
Mhm.
they bitch and moan after that, then explain to them you're not going to play games, and then that sets a precedence that you can't do that. But in like Maddie Lang's defense, she had to be trailered off freaking racetrack. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like an issue where she was
I
trying
don't.
to cause a yellow.
Well, I don't see. She drove right by the flag stand, literally with the right front tire, like almost up on the hood, dragging the right
Yeah.
front, sparking all the way down the racetrack. Why didn't you throw a yellow flag at that point? Especially when you're coming off a 4 and somebody tries to go to the wall and she's trying to at least get to the wall to get up and get out of the way. I do, there's
Yeah.
plenty of situations where, oh, she could have went to the infield, but when you still start rolling and she's just trying to, heaven forbid, just get off the track and she's sparking like crazy, throw the yellow then. Like, make sure she's okay and can get off the racetrack. Like, that's just absurd to me. I mean,
Yeah.
if it was actual NASCAR, like truck,
Yeah. It's,
Xfinity, even the Menard series, they would have thrown as soon as something like that happens, they're throwing the yellow flag because they're like, "We need to get this driver to safety and the other drivers on the racetrack safe from hitting that person."
NASCAR is the worst. They'll throw a yellow flag for if somebody sneezes wrong in a race car, they throw a
Yeah,
yellow flag.
right.
You know what I mean? Like they'll piece of paper on the freaking racetrack, they're throwing a yellow.
Mhm.
Here oh no, he spun out halfway in between 1 and 2. Nah, screw it. We'll
Yeah.
keep going.
Oh, that guy's on fire in the gutter, but at least he's in the gutter. That's just keep going.
Let's keep going. Oh, the fence is down from the trains. We're all good. We're good.
I wouldn't doubt if the lights went out. All they can see, like the track lights went out. All they can see, just keep them going.
Well, here I just have to throw this up here. It's because a flagman can't flag without someone in their ear telling him to throw it. I know I 100% agree. I know exactly.
Mhm.
And that's why we keep bringing this up because we know who the particular person is that runs that situation. And that's why we're like, and it's been addressed to that particular person through multiple drivers at this point, but it keeps getting the same answer.
Mhm.
So, but at some point, I mean, God forbid somebody gets really freaking hurt because of that kind of situation. And then what? Then what kind of, then what are you going to say to them? But
Mhm.
anyways, hopefully it gets cleaned up. I mean, that's all I can ask for is like, if you think somebody's playing games on the racetrack, give them the black flag and get them off the racetrack. Then like set a precedence. But you have to throw the yellow because if there is an issue of some sort, you need to make sure, like you said, somebody gets that help, or maybe they're hurt. They stopped on purpose. I mean, you don't know. I mean,
Right.
sometimes the most innocent looking wrecks can cause some major issues in these cars.
Right.
We've seen it. Look, I mean, Dale Earnhardt. You never in a million years would have thought that guy died from the wreck that he had at Daytona.
Mhm.
It looked like an innocent wreck that he walked away from numerous times before, but he ended up dying from it. I'm not saying that can happen right here, but you don't know. You just don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so
I
anyways, continue on.
I just don't understand why it becomes a question when it comes to driver safety. Like, should be bar none, do everything you possibly can to keep the drivers safe. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
But again, moving on. Tanner McKim,
Moving
good
on.
job, buddy. Another win on the season. Uh, sucks that he didn't get his, chance to. I mean, actually, all the winners after the rain delay, they didn't really let him do a driver, interview afterwards. They just trying to get the show over. So, um, yeah, on
And I
to
get that part.
yeah,
I
you're
get that.
running late already, and you want to get things done. So,
There was a couple of them I was like, really, you're gonna still do this? We'll get to that about Saturday night,
on
but
Saturday, yeah,
we'll
right,
wait for that.
yeah, but yeah, the Legends feature on Friday. Hey, you want to start us off on that?
I mean, I was excited for it. Like I said, it kind of looked at the lineup and seeing the names, and I was really excited to see out of the locals, who was going to be able to rise to the top and really challenge. I mean, I was excited to see what Austin Steinke. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was really interested to see what Austin Steinke could do against some of those kids
Mhm.
from different parts of the United States, and especially against like Brexton Bush and Colton Hale and they shoot Eli Black. There's some top names across the country that are here this weekend. Um, so and didn't disappoint. I mean, all those cars. I mean, especially at CNS, you gotta understand. And now that I've had the opportunity to kind of see those cars at different places now, um, it's such a big racetrack for those cars. So every little mistake that you make at CNS, it compounds exponentially,
Mhm.
and you have to be on your game no matter what there. So to beat a top dog, you really have to be super consistent. And they did a good job. It was a good race overall. I mean, yeah, sure, there was a couple incidents and whatnot, but the battle up front was really really good.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, and that set the stage for the whole weekend. I mean, it really wasn't. Um, Again, there was some multi-car incidents and stuff that had happened throughout the weekend, but
Mhm.
the night overall for that particular division. I thought they put on a really really good show.
Mhm.
So Braxton Bush was pushing that Bale kid really hard the entire race, and the two top locals, which none to be surprised was Austin Steinke, but I got to give a shout out to Reagan Fruget, man. That kid kicked ass
Yeah.
this weekend. He ended up, I think he finished seventh. Cody Milan, I think, yeah, it says it right here. Cody Milan finished sixth. Austin Steinke finished fifth. But yeah, Reagan Fruget and finished seventh, and he's another young kid.
I wanted
It
to,
did a
uh
phenomenal job.
I wanted to, type on the broadcast because they did the Facebook Live on Friday,
Yeah,
and then I wanted to type in on the comment section because they kept calling him Regan Frug, and I wanted to be
Frug,
like,
yeah.
"It's Fruget, it's French, but not French." They kept calling him Frug, and I'm like, "Yep, we already screwed that one up. It's Fruget."
What do they call that? Where you like words that are hard to enunciate and where they like spell it out differently with dashes and stuff. What do they call that?
Yeah, I know what you're
Like
talking about.
I feel like
Pronunciation.
that's how he should write his name on the
Yeah,
paper at the sign up, is like with those dashes and everything so they can
it'd be
say
like
it correctly.
FROO dash, like what, JAY, Fruget,
Yeah.
or like a J, like a Z or something in there, I feel like. Fruget.
Oh shit. Just word of advice. That's all. That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Colton Hale ended up winning that feature. Brexton Bush finished second. Eli Black was third, and Neil Dolan was fourth, and then Austin Sankey was fifth. So good race. Lot of, I mean, I know Scotty Scott got into it early. Chris Sakali got into an accident. Travis Rowe got into an incident too. So there was quite a few of them that had some issues, unfortunately, during that particular Friday night, which
Mhm.
you know you were hoping that they were able to get everything fixed to go on for Saturday and then hopefully Sunday as well, which a majority of them ended up doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a fun night. It was great to watch from our perspective. It's funny because it ends up being like midnight here by the time the races like get over. Well, 10:30, 11, like right around there or whatever. The only question I had for you, and this is just kind of interesting. I don't know if you heard why or not, but why didn't they open up the grandstand side on Friday night?
Just employees. They didn't have the grandstand side open on Sunday either, so I think it's just more or less just keeping everybody in the pits, not thinking that, there'd be a whole lot of people there Friday and Sunday, just because they didn't have any other show other than, obviously the Pure Stocks Legends Bandos, and then Sunday the Super Stocks Legends and Bandos. So, yeah, I didn't hear particularly why, but that's my guess is that don't open the whole grandstands and have all the employees that they have to pay to, you know, run the grandstand side when maybe 50 people, 100 people show up. It's like just put them in the on the pit side, and they discounted the tickets. It wasn't 35 for non-members, it was 25 for everybody in the pits Friday night and Sunday. So,
Okay, so this leads to my next question. Number two, did they give you the option to pay for just buy one pass for all 3 days?
yeah, if you showed up Friday, especially like bandos, legends,
Okay.
or anybody that wanted to, show up for the whole weekend, I do believe they did sell like a 3-day pass.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So then, I mean, I know it was kind of short notice knowing that Brexton Bush was going to show up, but I think in that instance, like on the fly, try to get word out there as quickly as possible to to I don't know, take advantage of that situation with him being there on Friday night. That because I would almost guarantee you at that point that bunch you would have had a decent crowd size on Friday night had you just opened up the grandstands. But I know obviously employees trying to get everybody to come to work, all that kind of stuff. Totally
Right.
understand that part. But yeah, I guess it would have been kind of nice to know. Um, Golly, thanks Andrew for that information. I know that has to do with the Cars tour, so it's
Yeah,
not a CNS deal with the $50,
right.
um, but yeah, that would have been not a cash cow, but it would have been a pretty nice payday for the track from a business standpoint to be able to cash that in, knowing that Brexton Bush was going to be there probably a couple weeks beforehand rather than the week of
Right,
that he was going to show up. But
right.
I mean, oh well.
Yeah.
But anyways, great
Phonetics is what it's called. We were talking about with
phonetics.
Virginia. Phonetics.
Yeah, phonetics. Good job. I'm
Yeah.
my,
Well,
my brain don't work good.
don't thank me, just thank Jess Archiga. She's the one that posted it in
Okay.
the comments. I just saw that as like, "Oh, phonetics, that's what it's called."
I'm glad somebody was helping us out with that
I'm glad somebody paid
particular.
attention in school.
No, no, I barely got by. I'm not gonna lie. Oh boy. But
Oh,
anyways, all right. On to Saturday night. We had a really good lineup for Saturday, and this was kind of the one of the main shows that was featured for the weekend. You had the pro late models coming in for the Cars tour, followed by the Grand American Modifieds. Again, you had the Legends and the Bandoleros racing on Saturday night. So, little wonky how they did the scheduling for Saturday. Um, I mean, with a big touring series coming into town, I know there was double features, and they were talking about not doing a double feature, and then because everything for you guys was set to be after the pro late model series, which ended up making the light really long at that point
mhm.
because I mean we'll get into the details of what happened that kind of made it that way, but still, um, I mean I know Bando kids were racing at like what 9:30 at night Saturday night.
Uh,
It was
no, yeah, probably. Uh,
for
well, I
their
know that
feature, right?
yeah, I know well, they didn't even run a dash. They only had the feature. Um, let's see, this what was it 7:20, it was the official time that the pro late model race went off, so I was thankful that they started 20 minutes early. That was
Yeah,
good. But, yeah, let's see, because then they ran the Legends Fast Dash after that, and then us, and then the Bandos, so, yeah, it had to been pushing and the other thing is, we'll talk about this when we do the pro late model stuff, but the pro late model race was going quick. Like, I'm actually surprised for how many cars they had that they didn't have more cautions. I don't think they had their first caution until, like, the competition caution at, like, lap 45, and then they had the one for, like,
something like that.
a spin at lap, like, 80 something, I wanna say. And I don't think they had a caution after that, if I remember right. So, I mean, they were just railing off laps, and I was thinking it was gonna go a different way, but they were running quick. So if I had to say, yeah, Bando Kids probably 8:30, 9 o'clock is probably when they raced.
Yeah, but I know they had a dash because I remember watching it.
If they had a dash,
So let me
oh,
go
you know
through
what?
here.
They did have a dash. I didn't see it.
Yeah, so because yeah, Maverick ended up winning the Bandit
Mhm.
Dash, and then Isaac
Right.
swept the night. That's right.
That's right.
So yeah, it's because they did it earlier, and then they had like what 4 hours of dead time, and then they then
Mhm.
ended up running the features after that. So it was a
Yeah.
little weird how it kind of played out, but um, ultimately it is what it is. You experiment with different ways of getting the show in and working with these touring series to try and combine to give them ample time to divvy things up and do all that kind of thing. So it's hard to navigate from a behind the scenes standpoint, but
Well,
um,
and
it does
and
end up being crazy.
yeah, well, and one thing I wanna suggest to the track is get rid of the damn rocks over in the staging area, like, from behind the wall where the, um, billboards are to where the start of the actual, like, asphalt is for the staging area. Get rid of those rocks and just put it all concrete or, um, asphalt, because the way they had the Cars Tour Pro Late models and the Legends line up, especially for qualifying, when we were
Oh, I
practicing,
see what you're saying.
I was literally driving through the rocks on our race set tires to go out and scuff, and I was like, "This is ridiculous." And, they're like, like, pointing at you like, "Get over in the like, get out of our way." Like, "No, get out of my way. I'm going out on the racetrack. This is a
Yeah,
staging area." So, and then when we did qualifying, that they were setting up for where they were gonna start the cars for, um, their races, so they had the Legends all the way up on the left side, and then they had the Pro Late models all the way up on the right side, and you're literally, like, splitting them, and you're just, like, looking back and forth at your front tire like, "Okay, don't touch, don't touch. Oh, there's Kevin Harvick,
don't
maybe
touch.
that one a little door, little mark," but it was tight. It
Yeah.
was it was interesting the way they did staging, so I'm like, "Let's get rid of those rocks and just big asphalt area." That way, there's plenty of room, and you don't have to worry about it.
So let me ask you a question because obviously I wasn't there. Why didn't they do him going down the drag strip?
Well, so when they had the legend cars, when they were lining up for, like, their, um, heat races and stuff, they had them lined
Hmm.
up there. But, like, when they did
Okay,
qualifying and then when they impounded them for the feature, I think it was the feature, they had them kinda, like, in staging because they had the pro late models as soon as they qualified and they were already lined up on the wall, and they qualified, well, then they brought them back into that staging area and put them against the wall, and then they had the Legends B main or the Fast Dash or something on the left, and we had to split them, so then that way, as soon as we were done with our race, the next Legend race was ready to go, you know what I mean?
got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it was like
So
the Fast
because
Dash
they would,
lined up, and then the B main was after that, and then we went and split them. So then it was like Fast Dash went out, and then we got to pull up and get into staging
yeah.
because the pro late models were already gone at that point. So then we got to go stage, and then they had the B main legends ready to go.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I mean it's just tough because I know what they're trying to do, right? Like they're trying to get have just everybody right there ready to go. So when they say, "Hey, drivers, get in your cars," they're not looking for people or that
Right.
kind of thing. So it's just one of those things when you have when you have a touring series, it makes it a little bit more difficult. But good
Mhm.
job, everybody, for not smoking a pro late model that costs 4 times as much as your race car.
Right.
So, um, but anyways, we'll jump right into this again. We got a little bit to talk about with this night in particular, but Bando Kids again. Oh, smoke alarms going off. I,
It
I
was
touched it, but it's underneath the kitchen table here, and I touched it, so that was my fault. But
someone was smoking.
Yeah, exactly. So good job by Hayden Powers. He was your main event feature winner for the Bandolero Bandits. Again, they did a really good job. That was a really exciting race. Um, Chaos as usual. Kids beating and banging off each other. I mean, it was a little bit of mayhem, but they did a really good job and they put on a really good show. So super happy with them. We can leave it on. The Outlaw feature was even more crazy. Uh, I mean, there was Isaac Mead just kind of checked out. But the action that happened behind him between the 24 car and the 09 car. So I think it was Ava Schneider. Yeah, it was Ava Schneider and Caden Willie. Man, they put on a really good show, battling for second. I mean, I got to give it to those kids because they've all stepped up their game and really done a really good job being more and more competitive. Because so far this season, it's been Isaac Mead, Jackson Mueller, and Madison Stanley been kind of the front runners for a majority of the season. And to see like a couple of those kids, and then Emerson Weitzel was right there, so it was fun to watch that particular race as well. All those kids did a great job. So hats off to them, and congratulations to those kids getting their wins under their belt. It's not easy. It's not easy for any one of those kids in any one of those divisions. It's hard to win races. So, and they got to drive their asses off to get there. So good job.
Yeah, especially navigating lap traffic with their configuration.
Yeah, yeah. We could talk about their configuration, but oh boy, it's just
we don't need to talk about that. Everybody knows already.
No, yeah, everybody knows. Okay, go ahead, continue on.
I wasn't gonna say anything much about the bandos. They do a great job, and it's just nice to see the camaraderie with all the kids running around afterwards and having a good time. So, um, yeah, it's fun watching those kids grow with each other.
We'll move on to the I want to talk about the Legends feature. I mean, they called it the B main on the broadcast. So there was 5 of them that started the race. There was 3 of them that ended the race. It was 3 of them that ended the race. 25 laps. It was not bad racing. I'm going to say between the 22 Sean Smith, Billy Blevins, and then Wyatt's. I think it's Slider or Slider. I don't know this I don't know this gentleman, so I can't pronounce his name right. But they had a pretty good race. They were all right there with each other. But it got towards the very end, and that 09 car, man, he came off the corner and he got sideways and then just boom right into the front fence.
Oh, I'm sure everybody right there on the front straightaway could hear it. I mean, I could hear it sitting in staging with my ear plugs in. You just hear boof. I mean, he hit that wall hard. Like
he hit that wall a ton.
Yeah,
man. And he got out. He was shaken up from it.
Yeah. When you just hear like air after somebody hits the wall, like a boof, like a balloon blew up or something. That's not good. He hit that wall a ton.
Thank you, Dominic, for correcting me on the pronunciation. See, again,
Splitter.
I just had like a key. It's Splitter. Yeah, that poor kid hit that wall a ton.
They have a if it's Splitter, then they haven't misspelled on the recap because it's SLITER. So unless that's a nickname, Splitter, Slitter, I don't know.
But I don't know.
Yeah, they have it wrong. And then if it's Splitter.
But what surprised me was, and again, I don't think this was a CNS call. I think this was a Cars Tour call, that they took the white flag when that happened, and then they cleaned it all up, and then they let them go back again to finish the like green, white checkered between essentially 2 cars. Well, there was 3 of them, but it was essentially 2 cars at that point.
The Robert Berger, he was Just trying to
just off
finish
the
the
pace.
race, it looked like. Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
just
up.
finish the race. So it was like, man, just end the race. Just end the race. Like, just get it done, move on. And then they did the interview right there too, because it was starting to get
Yeah.
later. You're like,
Why did you do why? Why?
yeah, I understand, give everybody that chance, but right there was that instance. It was like, okay, and I don't mean to be overly blunt about this, but you're willing to sacrifice race cars on the racetrack and not throw yellows because the right nights run long, but then you choose to do interviews
Yeah.
on races for like B mains to make the night run long. I make that make sense to me. I don't understand.
Understand it.
So I don't get that part. But anyways, I mean, nothing against Sean because he did a great job and he ended up winning the race and he was super excited after he got out of the car. And I mean, it is what it is. But I
Yeah.
just thought it just always makes me go back to that conversation that we've had with that person about, well, we got to get the night going. Well, then don't do shit like that.
Yeah.
So, but
Exactly.
whatever.
Right.
Um, so let's touch on the GAMs now. Let's talk about those two races, and then we get into Legends Fast, and then obviously the Pro Late Model race because that was a really good race.
Well, I gotta throw a shout out to Ray Duncan because even on the schedule, it didn't have anywhere on there that we were gonna do a drivers meeting before the races started. And I thought that was kind of interesting. Like I get we're technically the only CNS like series running tonight, since it was an INX sanction with the Legends, and then the Cars Tour did their stuff, so technically we were the only local Saturday night show running. But still, you would think you would do some sort of driver meeting just to reiterate some things, or like maybe, hey, this is why we were doing double features tonight, and they were going to do that. So apparently, Ray Duncan went up to Jim and was like, "You guys need to have a drivers meeting to let them know why we're running double features, because a bunch of them are confused and pretty pissed off about it, and B, like, you always do a pit meeting, so you should do a pit meeting." So they did. They explained to us why we're running a double feature. So it wasn't actually technically a double feature, it was the special. So double feature night is obviously two features, normal points for each race. A special is a first feature is 1 point per car, and then the second feature is normal points payout, right? So that's what a special is compared to the double feature nights. So that was at least nice to be told that and explain that, because I never knew what the difference was between special and double feature. So that was
Mm-hmm.
but it was brought up in the pit meeting, like, well, why are we doing this in the first place? And it's like, oh, well, we have, per the Cars Tour stuff, they need stuff to divide up certain things, then, and they want us to run, you guys have a double feature so it can kind of split some stuff up. It's like, but you already have enough going on. Why are you adding another race in the first place? Like, you have the bandos and then a B main, and then you still have the fast dash. Like, there's still a lot you can move around to schedule wise to break things up. You didn't need to add us to another feature, but whatever. It happens. Can't complain about it now. But anyway, first feature, um, we started 11th, made my way up to 8th, 7th, and then I lost late 8th. But we only had what, two cautions, I think. I do believe.
Yeah, there was a few cautions, and it was a little bit of a little bit of some craziness, just guys just driving over their heads, I think. And my hope is that it wasn't going to be like a precursor for the entire night, because it
Oh,
would
I
have just
know.
been a complete shit show. Um, but yeah, I mean, there was some incidents of just like, what the hell are you doing moments
Hmm.
that had happened. But I mean, it seems to happen every year around this time in the in the GAM division, where we just have some boneheaded moves that happen and mess up a couple race cars. So, but I mean, overall, it was a good race, and hats off again to Forrest Smith, man. Dude, whatever he figured out on that race car, he
He's got it
figured something
rolling.
out, and
Yeah.
he is freaking lightning. He
Mhm.
is fast. I mean, he was fast in both races, but I mean, for him to go back to back like that, I mean,
Mhm.
you could see the joy on that man's face, and I was so happy for him again.
Yeah.
Um, totally unexpected. I mean, but he put in the work, and again,
It was
nobody, and there's not one person that can say that they work harder than that man, because it's
he
impossible,
yeah,
impossible.
impossible. Yeah. When he's
Hmm.
working with just his hands and he's the fastest hands in the West, um,
Yeah, I love that. I loved that.
right,
That was
which
great.
actually, just to back up real quick, Rex Wheeler did say, "Why is he considered the fastest hands in the West?" And so Mike Hunter was like, "Oh, well, he's paraplegic. You should come meet him." And so before we left tech, yeah, Rex Wheeler came over and was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're driving a race car." Like, yeah, he's got the best hands in the West. But yeah, he
Kicking
had,
ass too.
and yeah, what a difference from the last race to this race, because it was just him and his wife on the last race when he won his first feature. And then all of a sudden, he had a couple people helping him on Saturday, but he had his whole I can't remember his sponsor, who it was, but they had rented out that new tent in the pit, um, on the pit side that they just built.
Hmm.
So his sponsor rented that whole thing out. Oh my god, they had a ton of people in that little area, and there was someone that made him a big sign like, "Go." I don't remember what the sign said, but mom was laughing about it, because it had a big 69. It was like, "Go 69," and like how it was presented, it kinda seemed like a poke at the number 69, but like rooting on Forest. So,
I
and
love humor.
yeah, and some of the ladies from the sponsor that went over and was cheering on Forrest in his pit. Um, yeah, quite the outfits. Let's just say that. Quite the outfits. Very let's just say when everybody that was around our pit, male wise, and even people that came up just to talk to us every time they walked by, it was like dead everybody went dead silent and was like,
We call those ratchet heads.
"Mhm."
Kick, 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 kick. Yeah, just
Uh,
ratchet head.
yeah.
And then you turn back and your wife's staring at you, and you go, "Oh shit, I'm in trouble."
Oh, yeah. Mom was like, "What are you looking at?" I'm like, "Nothing, nothing. What's down there that got you so intrigued and Mike intrigued and like all these men intrigued?" I'm like, "Nothing. We're just looking to see, Forrest has got a lot of people down there, so we're happy for him.
She's got great teeth,
He's got great teeth. Them are the whitest, them are the pearliest whites I've ever seen."
glistening in the sun. You got
Yeah.
great teeth. Oh shit,
Oh, yeah.
that's so funny. Yeah, congratulations to him. The second race, I know you started on the pole, did what you could, stayed out there quite a long time, and then
With halfway,
um, yeah, running
I tried to
second night on those tires. It's or the second feature of the night, and then you're on the third night of the tire cycle.
yeah.
Um, it's definitely hard when you're pushing and
S
tires
Damn
give way.
damn Kate Fox pulling a little crossover move on me, and then I put him in a gutter. I was like, "You little son of a bitch. I'm gonna put you in the gutter. You in the gutter." And he stayed right there. I'm like, "How are you not out of control right now?" And then he just got by me, and then little Wyatt just followed him. I'm like, "No, my own motor's beating me again. God damn it, son of a bitch." And then after that, I kind of overdrove it a little bit, and then I was trying to go up into the Michael Scott lane, and it just, I don't know. I think I got the tires definitely damn too hot, and all of a sudden there goes
Yeah,
Forrest, and then there goes Rain Jones. I'm like, son of a bitch. Oh well, I'll
Yeah,
take it top 5.
yeah, top 5, and it was. I'm just glad the second race there was no incidents. Right, it went green to checkered, and it was good to kind of like help speed up the night a little bit too. I was worried that there was gonna be something, and then boom, like we're looking at 1 o'clock in the morning by the time
Right.
it's getting done, you know. But yeah, congratulations, Cade Fox. That team actually finished
Yeah.
1-2.
And
Yeah,
then Wyatt finished 3rd in the first race. So good job,
yeah,
Wyatt. Getting there. He's learning.
hmm
He's getting better and getting more comfortable. So good job, buddy.
yeah.
I will have to, since we didn't really talk too much about it, but there was an incident actually in the first race where Ryan Jones literally got his bumper, kind of what happened to Scotty and Nathan the last race, where like they were coming off the corner and the bumper locked bumpers with the rear bumper of the car in front of him. So Ryan Jones was getting up on Steve Rodenbaugh bumper, and he was kind of low on his quarter. And then as he was coming off the corner, he was just trying to slide up behind him. Well, when he did that, he literally slid his bumper, the 3 crossbars, across the back bumper of Rodenbaugh, and it was literally sticking into the bumper, and it was literally locked, and they both spun out. Now, where I'm going with this is because it happened the week before, or the race before, and then I hear it again. But then you get guys that are in the back spinning out, they get sent to the back, but then Ryan Jones, and nothing against Ryan Jones and Steve Rodenbaugh, but Ryan Jones and Steve Rodenbaugh bring out a caution, and they gave them both their spots back. I'm like,
Yeah,
Are we just not gonna abide by the rule book anymore? We're just like, oh, we'll pick and choose when we want to do this. Oh, the 541, you got loose coming out of 2. Well, there was like 3 guys spinning underneath you. You must have been involved with it. You're gonna go to the back. Oh, but Ryan Jones and Steve Rodenbaugh, you just caused an accident, almost an accident and spun each other out on the front stretch. No, you guys can have your spot back. And it's not
well,
just the ones
and
that happened to. There's other series that divisions that's happened to. It's like, are we just picking and choosing when we want to do the rule book?
well, again, to your point, when Tanner McKinn spun out the 23 car
Right.
in the pure stock race the night before, how, how did why wasn't he sent to the rear? You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's become one of those things. It's just like it's a toss up. Like there's no. It's kind of like in hockey, right? Like goaltender interference on a
Yeah.
goal. You don't know which way it's going to go. It's all subjective.
Mm-hmm.
But the rule is set up this year to take away the subjectiveness, but you still are subjective on who gets their spot and who doesn't.
Yeah.
Like you're involved in the wreck, go to the rear. I don't understand. Even if
Yeah.
you're an innocent bystander, you spin out. That in my mind, that's how the rule book reads: is if you
No.
spin out, you're a part of caution to the rear.
Right.
But it's not working that way. I
No.
mean, I don't know. I don't understand it. I
I
don't. I don't understand it.
I don't get it either. But
I just have to
anyway,
laugh at this point.
yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to pinpoint that because especially mom brought something up, and I was like, oh, that's right. Yeah, we did have that one spin with Ryan Jones and Rodenbaugh. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
congrats to Forrest Smith and Cade Fox. At least the start of the night for the games wasn't terrible, but it had its incidents. But then we finished on off pretty strong. So going
Yeah.
green to checkered is always fun, and I think going green to checkered just means everybody's been respectful and giving each other room and racing hard. So when that happens, I'm always happy.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. Okay, getting on to the Legends feature before we talk about the pros. We kind of started that, and we'll kind of kick back up into the actual race in
Right.
general, the finish of that race, because there was something very very interesting that happened during that race that I do want to talk
Okay.
about. So I mean, yeah, night number 2 was again really anxious to see how our locals would fare against the incoming crew, and especially there's one driver in particular who came on night number 2 in a legend car that usually has a lot of success. It doesn't matter, excuse me, when he shows up, and that was Chris Eggleston. He brought out his legend car again, and Chris, he's meticulous, particular, everything, and you knew he was going to be fast. I mean, the guy's phenomenal behind the wheel. So they started 30, 30, 30. Oh no, 32. They started 32. And I do have to say this because the early part of that race, I didn't get to watch the early part of that race because we were still at the racetrack at Highland Rim. And we're loading up, and I get a phone call from Mom. And she goes, "He's okay. It looked really bad, but he's okay. He's out of the car, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, what the? I'm thinking, for first instant goes through my mind, I thought it was you. Because I knew you guys hadn't gone off yet, but I wasn't paying attention at that point because I was loading trailers. And I'm like, oh shit, what happened? I was like, who are you talking about? She goes, oh no, it was Wyatt. I'm like, oh. Well, I mean, it's still like my heart sank because,
Wyatt.
And I'm like, okay, well, what happened? Well, he barrel rolled down the back straightaway. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean he's flipped his car? And she's like, yeah, he got up into, I think it was Scotty Scott, and he flipped his car, but he's out of it. He's all right. And I'm like, oh my God. So Nicole, I tell Nicole, I'm like, he flipped his car. What's going on? So she jumps on Corey's live feed, and she goes back and she looks up at me. She goes, he didn't flip his car.
Scotty was in the air for a quick second, but nobody.
That's about it.
Yeah.
I had to give her shit after that, but I was like, what the hell? I mean, my heart sank. You know what I mean? And we're like, damn it, like that. You feel so bad. So anytime anybody gets up in the air, but especially somebody who's near and dear to us, like, holy cow. So anyways, it wasn't that bad. I thought it was. I was freaking out, but it wasn't as bad a situation. But it's unfortunate that they both wrecked the cars pretty hard. So
yeah.
But outside of that wreck, I don't think there was much of another incident that I can remember.
Not that I can remember either. Because I went back and watched it, just knowing what happened to Wyatt, and I heard what caused the incident, and so I was like, oh, I got to go back and watch this myself. So after that, I don't think there was anything going on other than just back and forth battling, and like you said earlier, you just make that one small mistake and it costs you.
Well, and I do have to point out the fact that I give it to Chris Eggleston because he was sitting about 4th, 5th majority of that race, and just was looking for some sort of spark, try and give himself a chance at winning. And he, when they came to the choose cone, he chose the outside, and it put him on the front row every single time there, because there was a couple of cautions late in that race, and he did end up getting on the outside pole a couple of times. And just goes to show you that I don't know what it is about that racetrack and with these cars, but it just does not work. Being hung out there, even having the best equipment, one of the best drivers in the country, and he couldn't make it work. So, I hats off to him for giving it a try. I mean, for sure, hats off to him, because not a whole lot of people were willing to go up there. The top 4 were on the bottom. Brexton Bush, Steinke, the Hale kid, you name it. They all just stick to the bottom, and that was it. So, but yeah, I mean, he tried it and just didn't work out for him. But but again, the Hale kid ended up. I mean, the kid's fast, man. I mean, he held on to the lead pretty much the whole race. I think he went green to checkered, led the whole thing.
I think he might have.
Yeah. So, he's got a good looking car too. I like the look of that car.
I do too. It confused me though, because Brexton's at least paint scheme, like the green color, kind of matched that green color. So I was like, oh shit, like when you're not paying attention, or like after the GAM race, I kind of ran up to on the wall to go see the legends, and you just see green, and you're like, oh, there's Brex. Oh wait, no, that's not Brexton. Oh no, Brexton's
Yeah.
in. Oh, he's in fourth. Oh damn. Oh okay. It's just like
Yeah.
confusing. You gotta like you gotta take a quick second to try and like look at the number, and from a distance, you can't really see sometimes the number. Or at least my eyes can't really see the number until they get close, and you're like, oh yeah, no, that's not Brexton.
Yeah. And it's hard with those particular cars to get the numbers really big.
Hmm.
Um, so you're just going based off of like color scheme at that point, trying to figure out who's who.
Right.
So yeah. But I will give it to Chris because an all black car with like a bright yellow outline, and that's the only thing on that car. Like it's pretty simplistic scheme.
Hands out.
The number definitely stands out at that point. So
Yeah.
I applaud him for that because he's
Mhm.
pretty easy to spot. But yeah, congratulations to that Hale kid again. Chris ended up finishing third. Brexton Bush was fourth, and Eli Black was fifth. Local wise, Austin Steinke was sixth. Reagan Fruget again had a great weekend. He finished seventh. So yeah, another great race for the Legends. It was super exciting and set up for Sunday to see if that Hale kid could sweep the entire weekend. So, and obviously we'll get into that here in a second. But the pro late model race, you want to speak more to that? Because there's
Uh,
one particular part that I want to talk about, but if there's any other highlights you want to point out.
um, I mean, like I said earlier, just the fact that the first part of the race, they didn't have one caution. I mean, it was fun to watch. Like, uh, I mean, there's battles going all over the track. I know that uh, Keelan started on the pole, but Jaron Giannini got by him pretty quick and took the lead and led majority of that first part of the race. And just from probably about, I'd say, sixth on back, it was just there was battles all over the racetrack when you got 30 late models out there running. I mean, there's no shortage of uh, action out there, and especially once the
Mhm.
leaders started kind of catching some lap traffic, you kind of were looking to see like, okay, who's going to manage the traffic the best, and is it a chance for like Keelan or Kevin or um, who was the other one that was in the top five, like top 3 and 4 most of the day?
Taylor Mayhew was there.
Yeah.
Um,
Just to like see how they were going to do if they could catch up, but I mean, most of the guys that were gonna get lapped, they were out of the way, which was good to see. Um, but yeah, it was interesting. A lot of people were on the bottom. Then you see some people trying to go up their second lane, third lane, and it was always a constant changing of lanes. Who was gonna get the better grip? Who was gonna get the better run off the corner? So it was kind of cool to watch just periodically throughout the whole race. I started going to get ready probably about lap 90, I wanna say, so I didn't really see from 90 on, but it was damn fun to watch that race and, just seeing all the cars all over the track. It was pretty fun, for me at least, but other than that, I mean, that one sprint, I think, what lap around got, like, 73 or 80 or something like that. Other than that, there was just good, hard battle and racing and a lot of
yeah.
respect out there, I thought.
Well, and the
What do
one
you
thing I think to point out from that too is there was 29 of them, and there was only four local drivers from what I could count. There was five, and Jace unfortunately didn't
start the
participate on Saturday. But yeah, there was four locals, and that was it. So a lot of people traveled in particular to this race, and I think it has a lot to do with not only Keelan and Kevin being there, but at the same time, I think just the crowd, the atmosphere. A lot of people are starting to recognize that and making it a circle on their card, because there's other racetracks where the pros show up and it's just the pros and they don't get that kind of card
Mhm.
count from
Right.
pro late model standpoint. So that was really nice to see how many of them showed up and participated and whatnot. But yeah, Cody Dempster did a great job. He was the top finisher out of the locals. He ended up finishing fifth. So he's got a top 5. But there's a lot of big names within this particular race, and guys that I don't think normally run a pro late model, but we're doing it. And I don't know, again, if it's just because it's CNS or what, but Kevin Harvick, Keelan Harvick, Taylor Mayhew, Buddy Shepard, Hayden Flybaum, and let's see, going down, Ethan Ebert,
wasn't that
keep going, Dylan Capello.
Dylan Capello. Wasn't there that Vito Cancilla? Did he race?
I don't think he raced. No, he didn't. He didn't race in this one. He's been running super
one
primarily.
like him that was in this race, but maybe I'm thinking of Ethan Ebert.
Yeah. So Jaron Giannini. I mean, he's doing a lot of modified stuff on the Spears Tour a couple years ago, and he's making that step up now that this modified tour is no longer available. I mean, stepping up and racing pros. And I will say that was a GMS car, by the way. And if nobody out there knows what a GMS car is, that is built by the Urys. Tony Ury Jr. started GMS and started building chassis again for Superland Pro late models. It used to be Furry race cars, and then he broke off and built GMS, and they've just started this year building it pros and supers again, and they've had a pretty good start to the season. And those cars have been pretty fast, so I'm really excited to see come Snowball Derby time how those particular cars compete, because the P1s are going to be fast, and the ham keys and stuff. But I love seeing these new chassis builders and these new manufacturers coming to light and putting on a show and having some success. So, but anyways, the one thing that I wanted to point out was, and I don't know if anybody knew this, but the line that Kevin Harvick was running at the end of that race, holy crap, he was up against the wall. Dude, that wasn't even a Michael Scott line. He created a new line around that place. And I read some comments and stuff about, like, back in the 90s, we used to run up there all the time. I understand that, but not in the more last 20 or 30 years. I would say 20 years, that line has been non-existent. And that dude, I mean, he found something. So if you got the glass stones it takes to run up there, he was fast. So it's worth trying.
He even said in his post-race interview that majority of that race, he was fast, but he was just stagnant. And, to get by Jaron, it was like I had to try something different. And I went up higher than normal and found some group up there, and the speed coming off a corner, especially off turn 4, he was like, it just started to hook up. And yeah, like, holy shit. Because like I said, I didn't see the last, 30 or so laps. But when you said that, you were like, you need to go back and watch Kevin Harvick's line, that last half of last 10 laps of that race. And yeah, it was like, holy shit. Like,
yeah,
damn. I mean, yeah.
Dude, it was like watching him at Darlington.
Yeah, he was maybe a tire off of that wall.
Yeah. I mean, it like the days of running at Homestead, I mean, just up against the wall. And to see the speed he was carrying, I mean, he blew everybody's doors off once he ran up there. I mean, he was hooked up beyond belief. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any like super lates now that go to try and experiment running that line now versus the third lane. I'm pretty much considering that's a new lane. That's a fourth lane up against the wall right there.
Yeah.
As long as there's no marbles, as long as the track's clean,
right?
When you got the tire that's a 10-inch tire, I don't know what it'll feel like in an 8-inch tire, like a modified or something, but at least with a 10-inch tire, it might work.
I'll tell you right now, I am not venturing the open wheels of my car up on that up that high. I'll take it. That's fine with me. That is fine with me.
That's fine.
I I
Oh boy.
I ventured into the 3rd lane myself a couple times and, tried it in practice last
Uh,
race, but I don't see myself venturing off into the new invention of the, Hail Mary line.
hey, we'll just move the bumper out a little further,
Yeah.
and you'll hit it, but you'll know when you got too high.
Mhm. Sure,
Uh-huh.
sure.
But anyways, that was the one thing that I wanted to point out about the end of that race, like how high up on the racetrack he was running, because
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, again, it's funny that somebody like that has just gone to the lengths to experiment and to see it actually work. It's just like, damn, okay. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, you got to be a hell of a wheelman in order to make that work, but I mean, there's speed to be found. I just think that the way that the heat is and the amount of rubber and the lack of moisture that's been around there, that the lower part of the racetrack is just a mess at this point.
Mhm.
So to his point, you got to find where it works, and that is untouched territory, right up at the
Uncharted
top of that
territory.
racetrack. Uncharted territory. It really is. I mean, it's like the new frontier of CNS running that lane because it's untouched asphalt for since they repaved it. Really, nobody
Mhm.
runs up there. Nobody has run up there other than Michael Scott. But I mean,
I mean,
it was
technically, you could say the figure eights are up there pretty close, but, I mean, it's not like they're running up there
right.
like he was, they just get up there to
No,
arc the corners to go down their X.
right.
Yeah.
But it was as far as like a regular oval track division.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've seen anybody up that high before.
Mhm.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that was interesting. But good job to Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, what a cool little, post-race, victory lap that he did. That was pretty cool, doing the, old Polish lap and, and then getting out and, celebrating and thanking Colorado for such a good race and such a good time, and, he says he loves coming here and racing here, so I, I envision he'll come here as long as they put it on the schedule, and which I don't see them
Yeah.
not putting it on the schedule, hopefully anytime soon. You know, it's a fun race. The supers and the yeah, I run that area a lot. Don't be a yeah. Oh, sure, Scott, on a four-wheeler. Yeah, okay. I will have
Ah,
to thank you, Scott, for jumping in on the comments. I have something funny about you, Scott. After Doug gets done, dying laughing over here.
oh shit. That was so funny.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, sure, just
hats off to him.
mhm. Anyway,
Uh,
after, qualifying
anyways,
for the modifieds, we go to the center, and he's, like, he's doing, like, a little, and then, stop. And, I didn't stop. I just kept going and, he had to kinda, like, jump back real quick, like I was gonna run over his legs. And he came over, he's like, "What the hell, man?" I'm like, "Get out of the way, you're in front of a race car." Who the
oh shit.
I almost
That's
took
so
out Scott.
funny.
I almost took out Scott.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Sunday really quick. Um, yeah, I mean, I know there was a lot of discrepancies around how Sunday went down, and I think it was just a culmination of a couple of really long days and the fact that it was 100 and some degrees outside. Just kind of turned into a mess a little bit. I mean, I think it had the weather just kind of cooperated a little bit better than it did.
Mhm.
Would have been a little bit easier overall, but yeah, I know for the super stocks there was a lot of miscommunication or whatever with the schedule and how things went. Where do qualifying, not do qualifying, what's the deal?
Mhm.
For the Bando kids and the Legends, it was pretty much you knew what was going to happen. I mean, they were on day 3, and I think pretty much everybody at that point was pretty well exhausted. I
Yeah.
know we talked to the Dents, and they pulled pretty much an all nighter trying to get Wyatt's car
Well, it
back
wasn't
together.
pretty much an all-nighter, it was an all-nighter.
yeah, it was all nighter to get that car back ready to go. So, there were instances like that. A lot of people up super late, and I'm sure they weren't the only ones. I'm sure there was other people that
Oh
took their stuff back home and worked on them and got them ready to go for Sunday.
yeah. Hmm.
Which hats off to you guys because um, I know after just like a 2 night in a row, like holiday weekend, I remember those being just absolutely gut wrenching for just on your body and everything else. But but yeah, so I'll have Jake speak to the whole thing with the scheduling and whatnot because obviously I wasn't there, but there's just hearing things through the grapevine about what that was all like. So if you want to take it away, my friend.
Well, it was just, first on the regular CNS schedule, there was supposed to be a double feature, and then the Cars Tour schedule came out, and it wasn't a double feature. And all of a sudden, they are running a double feature, and then you get to the racetrack, and they practice, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're not qualifying, and then oh, well, we need to qualify, and then oh, we're not going to qualify, and then oh, well, yeah, we need to qualify, and it was just I truly don't think they really knew what they wanted to do, and I'm not gonna try and bash and do this and that, but it's just like, "Get your shit together." Again, holy shit, get your shit together. But it kinda seemed like, I guess a bunch of the super stock guys got with Jim and was like, "What the hell? This is what we need to do, blah, blah, blah." So they finally were like, "Okay, we're gonna qualify," which they did, and then, had their double feature. I don't think it was the special, it was a double feature, and, you know, it just
Hmm.
it just I think it kinda put a lot of people on edge, just the fact that a lot of people were there for 3 straight days, um, and then just that miscommunication and coordination and stuff, it kinda there was a lot of, bad moods, I guess you could say it, people in bad moods on Sunday, um,
Well, and that's what I
and
kind
a
of
product of the heat as well to add on top
the
of it.
heat, the long weekend. I mean, the crew, right? Like the
Mhm,
track crew has been there the entire 3 days and 4 days really because they started practice on Thursday. So
mhm,
it's 4 days straight of racing. It was kind of like that Boyle effect, right? Like the lid's on top, you're just waiting for it to burst, and I think that's what ultimately
mhm.
ended up happening. And it was just
Oh,
like,
and I thought that
let's just get
I
it done and get it out of here.
yeah. Oh, and then I thought the super stocks qualified, and they didn't qualify. Okay. I guess because I got there a little late. I had some stuff I had to do in the morning, so I didn't get there till, like, 11 o'clock, 11:30 or something like that, like, literally not much time before they even just started the races, so, yeah, they didn't qualify. They yelled at us to get ready 5 minutes after practice, then changed their mind. Okay.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
only one that really qualified was the Legends cars because the Bandos,
Mhm,
I think they only got like one practice and they went based off qualifying off that one practice and stuff on
mhm,
Sunday too. So yeah, it was just kind of a weird how it's scheduled out. It was way earlier in the day, which I mean, it's not a holiday weekend, so I mean, I applaud that fact that they didn't wait to do it later. But
mhm,
in my mind, it was like almost one of those things. It's like, should just almost canceled it because it was so hot. And you know what I mean? I mean, I understand a lot of people came and traveled and did all that stuff, but it was just like, holy cow, it was almost too much,
right.
by that point where everybody was grumpy, tired, hot, miserable, and the crew miserable. It was a culmination, the perfect storm on Sunday. It seemed like.
Mhm. Well, and then, I don't know if you wanna talk about the super stocks or anything first, but, it just kinda boiled all of that just boiled over into the races, right? Like, the first super stock race, I think they only got, what, 13
Something like that.
so
Yeah,
laps?
17. I think it was 17 laps.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Somebody was leaking oil or something on the track, they couldn't figure it out. There was a good battle for the lead going on between, Dylan Kellogg and, who was it? Sorry, let me go to my thing. Scott Long. they were going back and forth, and Brent Cave was catching up and trying to get in there, and all of a sudden, yeah, it was just like they threw the yellow because like 3 cars spun coming out of 2, and lot of it, they were just by themselves, and it was like, there's no reason why 3 cars could just spin out of coming out of 2 in the same exact spot. And so they threw the yellow, went out, and they were looking under a couple people's cars. They had Brent Cave go down into the or not Brent Cave, Chris Cox go down and look at underneath his car. I think they were looking at Sean Sully's car, um, the number 5 car. His name's just going through my head right now. He pulled in, they were looking under his car, then they went red because they were trying to clean it. And then all of a sudden they were like, all right, everybody get off the track until we get this cleaned up. And then all of a sudden they were like, okay, get out of your cars. We're just going to call the race. And that way, because it's hot. Like they're keeping them out in the middle of the track. It's friggin' 106 degrees outside, which probably makes it about 150, 160 plus in the race cars just sitting there. So I do applaud the track for getting them off the racetrack and just being like, we got to clean it up, we got to get the show moving. So I'll give them that. Get the car people out of the cars so they're not dying in the car, right? So I'll give you that. But
Well, and
Chris Cox blew a transmission. Okay, that's what it
yeah, he
was.
blew a trans. I heard about that, but
He blew,
and
I
I heard
won't.
a lot of people were overheating at that point too.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of people
Yeah,
hit- getting close to, you know, spewing out a lot of water all over the racetrack. I think
no, 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 it's radiator oil,
oh, it's
radiator
radiator.
oil.
Oh yeah, oil. They're the zero W15. Yeah. Um, but then the second super stock race, I don't remember how they said they did the invert, but it was. I thought they said it was based off points, and then somebody was like, "Oh, it was like a dice roll pill draw thing or something." I don't know. I don't really
To me, it
understand.
looked like they inverted the entire field.
Yeah, I thought somebody said they inverted the entire field based off the championship points currently. But I don't know. So somebody that's watching that was in the super stocks, please let me know exactly how they did the invert. Because I don't remember exactly what it was, but it did put Jesse Dyke on the pole to start that second race, and she got out to a little bit of a lead pretty quick. Her and I think was it Ethan Murr were battling.
Murr, yeah,
Yeah, and she was full field invert based off points. Okay. Um
yeah.
she was I think she led the first 12 or so, 13, 14 laps, somewhere in there. I can't remember exactly how long it was before the caution came out for um our buddy Greg got spun out by his best friend,
John Humphrey.
John Humphrey. Yeah. And when I say best
That
friend,
was
it was
that's,
it's a complete joke. Um but
shit
yeah,
under the caution was what.
yeah, it's one thing to spin somebody out in the middle of a race, and then under a caution when, Greg's trying to go see if he can get his spot back, and then just puts his hand out the window like, what the hell?" Right? And the dude just goes up and doors him and then just spins him out
Spins back.
right in the middle of turn 2. It was like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude? You are a complete moron." And I don't care if this kid's dumb. You are a complete moron. That is just stupid. And like, I don't care what your reasoning is. It was just stupid. I hope he gets suspended for that. But yeah, they black flagged both Greg and him. I don't know why they black flagged Greg. He didn't do anything, but they black flagged him. But he came off. We opened up his hood. He was dragging his the bottom of his air box, and he was pissing radiator oil out of it. So it's probably a good thing he had to come off anyway because he was overheating. But yeah, after that, I guess it was a good race. I don't know. I didn't get to see the rest of it, but Ethan Murr got his came out with a win. So congratulations to Ethan Murr, and Chris Jordan came in second, and Maury Christner in third. So some
Yep.
names that you normally don't see up there, um, getting a win and getting a good finish. So good job to those drivers.
I liked that. I mean, it's kind of crazy that they did a whole. I just don't like the full invert off of points. I've never been a fan of that. But when you don't qualify, you kind of you have to default to that. But if you qualify, then I would rather you do it off qualifying. But in this instance, uh, it put on a good show, and
Mhm.
it gave, because again, you still, somebody like Ethan still has to go out there and you still got to drive and you still got to hold the position. I mean, there's a lot of fast cars in that division, and there was
Mhm.
cars all over the place. So yeah, the fact that he was able to hold on and win the race, I applaud him. I think that's awesome. The rookie too, by the way.
Mhm.
So he's a newbie getting a win as a rookie, and I know what that's like, and it's exciting. So
Mhm.
congratulations to him.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
but
a lot of
yeah,
heated moments, pun intended, during that second first and second super stock race. So um
yeah,
I know a lot of drivers were, especially with the changing of the schedule, they were just like, what am I even here for? Like, I'll just pack my shit and go home and not be out here in the middle of this 106-degree weather, and
yeah,
deal with it. But at least the super stocks, they put on a good show. Like we said with the pure
yeah,
stocks, they put on a darn good show, and the super stocks, that was no slouch. They put on a damn good show. So
yeah.
um,
Bandos, real quick.
man, those.
The so there was a little less of them overall. There was a few that were missing from the previous nights into this night. So there was 21 of them total between the Outlaws and the Bandits on Sunday. Uh, but yeah, for the young kids in the Bandit division, um, I I mean, I don't know how they did that invert. So I'm anxious to see. I know there's one of the Bando parents is watching this. So explain to me how they did that invert too, because um, it was, again, it's crazy race to watch for those kids anyways. I know
Mhm.
Maverick ended up having an issue. So that poor kid, he had a couple incidents this last weekend, and they were busting ass trying to get that car ready to go. And he was fast. He was really fast. I was really happy for that little kid. They're amazing family. They're amazing people.
Yeah.
Um, and
Well,
he was fast.
they had to fix something on the right front, and when they put the tire back on, um, they forgot to put uh, the washer that goes, um, I think on the spindle, like somewhere on the spindle, where it keeps it from. You can put it all the way up to the hub, and then it's not laying
Mhm.
on the Heim joints that are coming out for the um,
Yeah, the
dry rod.
spacers. So there's like
Yeah, the
little
spacer.
spacers. Yeah,
Yeah, and it was rubbing on the spacers, and it wasn't sitting on the hub right, and so he was, like, towed in like crazy, and hats off to him. He after about, what, 5 laps, I wanna say, the tire went down, knew
yeah,
knew something was wrong, and just pulled off, and
yeah,
hats off to him for doing that because, most kids, they just keep racing and not know, "Oh, shoot, I had a flat tire." He at least felt something was going on. Tire went down, got off the track, kept himself safe and, possibly others if something drastically bad were to happen, it he did the right thing, and hats off to him. I know he was
yeah,
pretty upset afterwards, but hats off to him for doing that because you don't really see young kids doing that, right? They don't know something went wrong unless it was drastic, like the whole car shaking, or, you're completely missing a tire, right? Um, but yeah,
yeah.
hats off to him for learning that. I thought that was pretty cool.
No, that's a great point, because yeah, there's sometimes they don't know, and those cars, especially there, they just bounce and they're doing crazy stuff all over the racetrack.
Mhm.
It's very, very, that racetrack is so hard on these cars. It is so hard on these cars. So there's instances where yeah, something might happen and they might not even know it. But then there's other instances where some of them they're just like, screw it, going or whatever. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I applaud him for knowing and feeling that, and then going, oh, this is something bad, and just just getting off the racetrack. I mean, it's hard for a kid that's eager and wants to just compete and go win and stuff to have to come off the racetrack, and that's a great learning moment, and save the car for another day. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
There's that's a hard thing for a young kid to be able to learn. So yeah,
Mhm.
good job, good job.
Right.
But yeah, so new winner in the Bando division was Brooklyn Torres in the '99 car. So she, it's kind of funny because her brother's been really close to winning a feature uh, ever since the beginning of the year. I mean, he's had
Mhm.
some really close calls and getting a chance and an opportunity to win, and just hadn't quite pulled it off yet. So the fact that his little sister went out and beat that poor kid, I'm sure he's
Yeah.
probably like a little upset about that.
Yeah.
But hats off to her for winning the race. Yeah, they did have like a huge invert, so that's put some of the younger kids up front. But
Mm.
again, still got to go out there, still got to pedal it, and good
Right.
job, great job.
Yeah. No,
So
they put on a good race. It was for 3 straight days of racing and the heat and everything they went through, especially on Sunday. They put them
yeah,
over in staging, and it felt like they were over there forever, before they got on the track, so I'm sure those little kids were just dying to just get on the racetrack and get off the racetrack just so they can get out
yeah,
of the cars 'cause that was way too hot, so but congratulations.
yeah.
That was a good job.
And then for the outlaw kids, um, again, Isaac Mead's just been on a tear.
Mhm.
What did he win 3 or 4 races this weekend? So I know they're doing a hell of a job, and he's a really good young driver. Watching, and it's fun watching those kids from the angle of the low budget broadcast and stuff, because one of the hardest turns is not only just the cones, but watching how they come through the X and they navigate the X, and
Mhm.
um, pretty consistently between him and I would say Jackson does a really good job of that, and James Schneider does a pretty good job. I mean, there's quite a few of them to see how they navigate through there, but he's one of the best ones when he comes around those corners and drives around through the middle of the X, and you can just see our turn, and sometimes it gets upset, but he just keeps on digging, and that car just rotates and it just launches through the X like crazy. So,
Right.
um, and it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch him wheel that thing uh, consistently, lap after lap after lap. So, hats off to him for doing a great job and getting another win on the night. So,
Yeah.
um,
Well, I, you got a feel for Jackson Mueller 'cause, him and, especially Emerson Wetzel,
oh yeah,
she was in the lead beginning of that race, and Jackson was following her, and Jackson was trying to get up to her, and I'm guessing he was trying to get her low coming through the X and onto the track, and I think just she might have just checked up or maybe something just happened where her car just slowed up just that little tiny bit, and I think he
she's
just
trying to keep him behind her.
yeah, oh, was that because they went through
Yeah,
the start finish line and then they went behind the dirt, but as they were going in behind that dirt mound, you could just see all of a sudden a white car just started turning sideways and you're like, "Oh no, Jackson's
yeah,
put her out." And, that killed his momentum, obviously, but it was like, "Oh, dang it, Emerson was in the lea" oh, you just feel for both of them. So but still,
yeah,
Isaac Reed, doing a good job getting the win, but there's just those couple of moments where you're like, "Oh, man, that would've been just nice to see how that would've turned out," maybe Emerson, Jackson, at the end there, maybe they would've battled out for a win or something, so, um yeah.
yeah,
They all put on a pretty good show on Sunday for being how hot it was.
yeah. And day number 3, right? Like as a driver, I
Mhm.
mean, I'm sure those kids were just exhausted.
Oh, yeah.
So
I would've.
it's tough on the body.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's really tough on the body. And then a kid's way more energetic than a 40-year-old man. So but
Yeah.
I'm sure that those kids were done for. But great job, great weekend overall for those kids. 3 days of straight racing, that's pretty nuts. And hats off to the parents and the crew members that worked on those cars all weekend long. I envy you, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I know what that's like and how hard that is, and that is not easy.
Mhm.
It's those little cars are the death of me, I swear. Um, but anyways, let's move on to the legends real quick, and then we'll kind of close out this show because we're about on the 2 hour mark here.
Yeah. Uh, where did? Oh, there it is. Nope, that's not it. Trying to go to the.
That's not it.
I'm trying to go to the finishing order for the Fast Legends. Um, my gosh.
Well, I'm pretty sure they just won they ran the one
Here we
race,
go.
right?
Yeah, they just ran the one. Well, they did a fast dash. Um, but
Right, but for the main.
for the main, yeah, I don't think they had enough cars to do B main, if I recall. So yeah, so they just did the one main. Um, I mean, if you want to just go real quick with this, a
Yeah.
bunch of people did get their cars back out. Wyatt Dent got his fixed. His mom and dad were up till 5 o'clock at the track. Got locked in the track, fixing his car, but got it done. A lot of other people doing the same thing, an all nighter. But yeah, Colton Hale finally got knocked off the pedestal of the weekend. Didn't sweep the entire weekend. With everything else he swept, just didn't finish that last day. Eli Black finally got by him and got the win. So pretty cool to see. The out of town cars coming in and how well they did and how well our local kids did. Austin Steinke was always a probably top 5, 6 car. Regan Fruget seemed like he was a top 7, 6, 7 car. Danny Medina had a couple of top tens in there. Cody Milan a couple of top tens. Wyatt ended up finishing 10th this last race. Um, but yeah, those cars that were like teammates with Brexton Bush, they all kind of just dominated the weekend in terms of finishing um, and wins. It wasn't like they took off either, though. It's they were just tough to pass
Hmm.
and came out on top. Everybody else was just waiting for them to make that one little mistake, and it just didn't seem like they made those one little mistakes. So, um,
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of lead changes. There was one point where Brexton got by that Hale kid on Saturday night, but that
mhm,
was it. I mean, other than that, there was not a whole lot of lead changes throughout the entire weekend.
right,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Other
but
than
but it
other
was
than
fun.
Eli Black getting him, yeah, it was good. Good race, good finish to the weekend. Long, hot weekend. Not only for all the drivers and crew, but all of the officials and uh, flag people, and even the camera crew up in on the tower. They had a big old canopy that they had on top of that tower, which I'm sure was probably very hopeful most of those
Yeah.
days. So, but yeah, hats off to everybody making it a good weekend. Had some crazy moments, had some hot moments, but I think overall, um, successful weekend.
Yeah, I will point this out too. Um, yeah, he just came off the summer shootout championship. Yeah, him and Landon Thrasher, who races locally here, got to meet that young man. He's a great young kid too. So I mean, the kid had momentum going into this weekend, and Brexton competed out there at the shootout as well a lot, and had
Mhm.
had some decent runs down there. A lot of local kids running in that series. So I would love to take the girls down there to the cookout shootout series at some point next year if they do it again, which I think they will. But yeah, I mean, it's I mean, it was good to see that we can compete on the same level as like some of those cars that do this all the
Mhm.
time. I mean, those kids they're racing shoot 2, 3 times a week,
Yeah.
you know, and a lot of our local kids just don't get that kind of opportunity to race on that many races.
Mhm.
within the region. You know, those kids are racing, yeah, like I said, 2, 3 times a week easily because there's
Mhm.
just so many opportunities around there to go do that. So hats off to all of the competitors this weekend, especially on the local level. You guys did a phenomenal job. The one thing I do have two things I want to kind of talk about real quick before we take off. Did anybody see the message that Samantha Bush put out there
Oh,
after
yeah.
Saturday night?
That
That
was
was awesome.
that was awesome, for her to say that, it kinda warms your heart a lot, that,
Hmm.
it's been a little while now since Kyle's passing, and for her to say that this felt like the first weekend, or first time that things have felt normal and felt good, and she just kind of was able to breathe in a sense, that was
Hmm.
pretty special, so that that's really nice to see, I know that they had posted some pictures, they went downtown a little bit one of the nights, I'm assuming, maybe Saturday or Friday or I don't know what day, but, um, got out, went out downtown, got some ice cream, and, just did some family stuff, and probably here in Denver, nobody knows who they were, and so they were
Yeah.
probably walking around like, "This is kinda nice," right? But,
Hmm.
then, when they come back to the track and with the amount of people that probably said, obviously said nice things to her and Brexton and, um her little
Lennox.
girl, Lennox, yeah. I thought that I don't know who I have an idea of who the lady was that asked for Lennox, autograph, but I'm not 100% positive, but I just did think that was kinda funny that she said that some lady had asked for hers, um, Brexton, obviously, and then Lennox, and she was like, "Oh, that put Lennox on the top of the world. She felt so cool about that afterwards." So,
I saw it. Somebody posted a picture. I'm sure somebody's going to name the name here in a second, but I
yeah.
remember seeing the picture of who asked for her autograph, but I'm totally drawing a blank. I thought it was CJ Wilson's mom.
That's who I thought it was. I was like, I think it was
I thought it
CJ's
was
mom.
her,
Yeah.
but I don't remember for 100%. But
Mhm.
yeah, the fact that she mentioned that and just the nice words, and when she talked about how the racing community as a whole um, was so nice, and I mean that just it speaks volumes about just not racing in general, but just this local community where the racing community. I mean, it's it's well talked about outside of the state about what it's like to race at CNS,
Mhm.
and it's the atmosphere. I mean, it's the people, it's the drivers, the fans, the you name it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought that was phenomenal. The fact that she went out of her way and pointed that out. I mean,
Mhm.
everybody pat themselves on the back. I mean, that family's been through a
A
lot,
lot.
and especially somebody of that nature, um, to be able to kind of give a little bit of relief. I mean,
Mhm.
that's phenomenal. You can't
I
ask for anything better.
I'll tell you what, she is a tiny thing. Holy cow, she is tiny. And when I mean tiny,
Really?
she is tiny. Yeah, because on Sunday, um, Greg had parked in our spot, and, so, like, where the
Oh, I
Marines
heard you
usually
yelled
park.
at her.
I didn't yell at her. Who told you that? I didn't yell at her.
Mom,
Oh,
mom's like
mom.
Jake yelled at her.
Oh, I didn't yell at her. Well, we were sitting there and, nobody was parked in the Marine where the Marines usually pit, so I had pulled my truck in all the way up front and, parked there because we had cooler and stuff, and then all of a sudden, this, like, black Escalade pulls up and, there was some other cars that were already there, but they parked, like, right on the, walkway paint, right? So,
Oh,
we're kinda like, "Oh, who's parking on this?" And, I come looking, I was like, "That's a nice car." I'm like, from where Brexton's team was parked, I was like, "I bet you that's probably Samantha Bush in that car, and somebody's, driving her." Oh, sure shit, yeah, she walked out. So I, like, walked over nicely, not yelling at her, "Mother." I nicely and politely was like, "Hey, Mrs. Bush, I'm sorry to disturb you or interrupt." I was like, "This is like a walkway, and, there are some handicapped people, so, like, we need to use this as a walkway." I was like, "If you actually just wanna have your driver pull up behind my truck, just park behind my truck because this whole lane, nobody's using this lane. Just go ahead and pull up behind my truck." So I was just being nice, and then she, "Oh, yeah," and then I don't know who her driver's name was. She told him to park, just pull up, park there. But yeah, she's telling me I yelled at Samantha Bush. I'm gonna
Oh, it's so funny.
call and wake up mom. She's probably sleeping by now. I'm gonna call her and wake her up and be like, "I didn't yell at her." Yeah, when I did go up and talk to her, I mean, she was, phew, tiny, but I mean,
Yeah,
the rock on her finger. I mean,
he did it right. Is that what you're saying?
oh yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean, actually, I'm gonna over exaggerate it really bad. It was like
Yes.
the Stanley Cup on her freaking finger. Like the top of the cup, like on her finger. Yeah, he
Oh,
he did
that's
not
so funny.
he did not skimp on that ring. I'll tell you what.
That's so funny. Oh my God, that is so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hats off to everybody for making them feel very welcome and giving that family a little bit of relief and some normalcy for a weekend. Yeah, that's phenomenal here. I was really happy to see that. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
But
What was the other thing?
I was just going to give a quick update about these two. Um, they competed out here at Highland Rim on Saturday. We've been working on their cars for last few weeks, trying to get. It's been really tough just working straight out of the trailer, but the girls did a really good job. So if anybody hasn't seen, I posted on like our Smith Family Racing page a link to YouTube, so you could see what it's like from the view of Nora.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
but they're getting better. They're definitely getting more and more confident behind the wheel. It's really tough. These kids are really fast, and some of the top kids in the country are racing here locally. So it's a lot of fun to be able to see them compete against some really tough competitions. I mean, they get after it hardcore. Really, really hard nosed racing, dude. For Bandoleros, I'm like,
Yeah.
holy shit, these kids are they're fast. And um, yeah, Addie ran her quickest lap so far, and so did Nora. The just perspective wise, qualifying, the leader was a 15:0. Addie ran a 15:3 in during the main event. So
She's waving behind
super
you.
proud of them. Oh, really?
Is that
She's
Addie?
just peeking her. I don't know. She's peeking her. I think no, that's Nora.
Oh.
So
You So, speaking of Nora being there, um, does she wanna tell what Uncle Bob owes her and that she frantically was making me call her after my race to
well,
talk to her
she
about?
can't she can't hear you because
Um,
you're in my ears. But so Jake made a bet with her. We've been trying to just kind of like figure something out motivation wise, and we took a play out of Nathan Gasser's playbook. Um, and I told her, well, if you got down into the 16s, I'll buy you something worth $40, right? Oh, okay. So she immediately got down into the 16s,
mhm,
and then telling you was all excited. She
yeah.
picked up her time, and then Jake made the smart idea. Well, if you get down to the 15s, I'll give you $100. So she did. She got down in the 15. She ran a 15:8, and so immediately the first thing that happens when she gets out of the race cars, great job. I'm congratulating her, and she's like, I need your phone. I was like, why? She's like, I got to call Uncle Bob. He owes me $100. I was like, oh my God. Like, of all the things you think about was
Yeah,
Jake needs to give you $100. She was
yeah.
not going to hold you. She was going to hold your foot to the fire for that one.
Oh, yeah. I
But
told her, like, "I'll send you a check in the mail."
I'll say, good luck cashing it
Yeah,
because he's going to write it out to her.
yeah. Send it to her and write her a check and send it to an address that you guys don't have yet. Sure.
Yeah. Go to cash it, it bounces.
Yeah, mhm.
Oh shit!
Tell
No,
her I'll Venmo her. She didn't even have
yeah.
Venmo. I'll Venmo her $100.
Oh my god. Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. They're getting better. Still a long ways to go. I got a lot to work on too. Like there's speed to be found for sure, but they're getting faster and they're getting better every week. So it's been fun. We got a weekend off coming up this weekend, so it's gonna be nice to not have racing for a little while. But then we're back at it and shoot, they kids don't get done racing until November here. So we got a lot of races still left to go. I know. Hey, any locals want to come out and run Legends and Bandos? I'd highly recommend it because they don't stop racing until end of October, early November is the last race. So if you guys want to venture out,
Yeah,
be
go out
happy to have
Highland Rim.
everybody. Yeah, come up to Highland Rim or Nashville Fairgrounds, one or the other. So, but anyways, that's what I want to talk about. And then for me, I mean, shoot, great weekend, everybody. Had a lot of fun watching you all from a distance again. Um, it's been great seeing the growth factor of all the different competitors, people getting their first wins and stuff. It's been exciting. So I'm happy for everybody and keep up the good work.
Yeah. Nothing much more for me. Hopefully some of the things that we talked about today get cleared up because I know there's a lot of stuff going on, and
Yeah.
you know, communication and driver safety I think is key, especially that latter part. Let's just all remember that. But
Yeah.
congrats to everybody over the weekend. Good luck to all the divisions playing. Yeah, playing. You're going to be playing a game this weekend with your radiator oil. Um, good luck to everybody racing this weekend. There's a super late model double feature, pro truck double feature, pure stock double feature. Wow, 2 weeks in a row for them. And a figure eight double feature. It is the Gilpin and Lodge Casino High Roller night with the CVOR display. So it should be a fun night. But yeah, everybody be safe. The weather's supposed to be hot again. Already looking at the
Yeah.
forecast. It's supposed to be hot again, but definitely everybody be safe out there. Drive fast. Have a good weekend, and we'll talk again next Tuesday about the winners from this last weekend.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you all again for tuning in. We really appreciate the support. And, from us, we really appreciate it. And you all have a great evening and a great weekend. So
Yep.
we'll talk to you guys soon.
Have a
All
good
right.
night.
Good night, everybody.